Week 4 is just a couple of days away. Welcome to the Unreasonable Odds podcast. I'm Steve Buchanan with my co-host, Julian Edlow, and a very special guest, one of our favorite guests to grace the podcast, Joe Murray, one half of the Bankroll Boys, 98.5 The Sports Hub. The man is everywhere. You go somewhere, you're probably going to find Joe Murray there. If there's sports betting or if there's gambling, poker involved, Joe Murray's going to be in the vicinity. I promise you that. But Joe Murray, welcome to the podcast, man. We're glad to have you back. One of our repeat guests. Welcome to the show again.
Thanks, guys. That is not unreasonable. Yes, and if there's down east sider, I'll probably be there too.
All right, we're
looking for sponsors here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk all about week 4, but as we always do on the podcast, we want to get to know our guest a little bit more. So we have the segment, Know You Better. We're going to wrap it.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, Joe's been on, but we have not done the Know You Better segment.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
Joe,
right.
Because we just slapped together a podcast to start, and now we're actually making segments and stuff like that as we grow. So we will play a quick game of Know You Better with Joe Murray, which starts with, and this don't give me a dollar amount or anything. It doesn't need to be your biggest win, or your highest plus odds win, just your overall favorite win of your sports betting career.
Baylor versus Washington in a bowl game, RG3's final game. The total was set at 80. It went way over the total. But just to let you know, I had over the total and Baylor minus 14. And they were down 28-7 at the half. And I'm going, this isn't good. And I doubled down, and Baylor came back to win, cover, and it went like over 100 points. But let's just say I was very emotional at halftime, wondering, what did I do this for? So that's the greatest win of my life. And it was during college bowl season.
There we go. You knew that one quick right off the bat.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you my work if you need that.
Well, Steve has a question for you.
Yeah, so if you knew that one really fast, I assume you're going to know this one too. What is the worst loss that you endured?
06 or 07. So it's the 06 AFC Championship game. Patriots-Colts. Patriots were up 21-6 at the half. I had Patriots in the over, double down Patriots in the over second half. I actually called someone about Super Bowl tickets at halftime.
What a smoke to the Bears.
Yeah, so that's another one that the Patriots let get away besides the two Giants ones. But yeah, worst loss of my life, double down. It was bad, man. It was bad. And it was Peyton Manning's greatest performance of his life.
Yeah.
And that was hard to swallow as well. So yeah, these were a long time ago, guys. There's been I'll give you just one other one. One time I bet Tiger Woods once to win against somebody. But he picked up the ball. I don't know if you guys remember that. And there was a big controversy, and they gave they took off a stroke for him. Well, I technically won the bet, but because I didn't have a ticket in Vegas, and it's all done online through books, I lost my bet. But if I had a ticket that day, I would have won my bet if I was at a casino. They reversed it overnight, and I lost that bet. So
wow.
that was not that one hurt very bad.
Those are the ones where it's just kind of out of your hands, the bad beats that I can't stand. Because if something goes different on the field, on the court, whatever, something goes just completely not the way that you saw it, that's one thing. But the bad beat that I always give out to guests on this show that I had was we were actually going to have you on as our guest for 2020 March Madness, I guess it would be, which was never played. DK Sportsbook at the time was running really cool props on to be what seed you would be in the tournament. So I, at one point in time, made a pretty big bet on Kansas plus 250 to be a number one seed, just one of the 4 1 seeds. They were going to be the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. When they closed odds for number 1 seeds, Kansas was minus 2,000 to be a 1 seed.
Wow.
I had it in the bag. Then there is no bracket. COVID shuts down March Madness, and I void that bet.
Wow.
That's always my bad beat that I share. Just completely out of your hands.
If I can give you just one that happened last week, look into this, and all your listeners can look into this. It was Harvard versus Brown last week. 49-10 with 1 second to go.
Illegal. Illegal extra point.
Yes. So obviously 65.5, but if it's not within 3 points, there's no extra point. What's going on in the Ivy League over there? Like, I don't think it's free tuition too, but like, where's the money going around over there to kick that extra point? Someone got greased.
They kicked an extra point that by rule should not have been kicked to put the game over.
That's mayhem. That's mayhem to me.
Yeah, those nerds need to do their research on football. All right, a couple more quick ones before we finish up with Know You Better. Like you said, a lot of these beats that you're giving are pretty old, back in the day. And as things have kind of evolved in sports betting, you go on Twitter, you can get any number you want, any trend you want. You want me to tell you why on Thursday Night Football tonight the Bengals are going to win? I can give you trends. You want me to tell you why the Jags are going to cover? I can give you trends. What number do you put the most stock in? What's a number that you want to find and you actually say, this has value to me making my bets?
Teams on the road, I think, for example, divisional underdogs close at like 67%. But this week, there's one of them, and we'll go around the league. There's one of them where divisional teams play each other, but the underdog I don't like in this case because the coach in his career is 8-0 against this team. So those type of things I look into is how a coach is versus another coach. We'll get into that. But yeah, I look at trends. I look at all sorts of trends. The ones I don't like are how do they play on turf at night? You know, those baseball ones, Steve? You know what
yes.
I mean? Like,
yes.
That's Steve's follow-up question right
That
there.
was going to be my follow-up, but you're exactly right. Like, I bring this up all the time. Like, I remember seeing something. It was like what Russell Wilson does, like, on Monday Night Football. I don't give a flipping crap what he does on Monday Night Football. Like, that is the most useless stat. And people are like, oh, you got to bet this. I'm like, why? So you can lose on this stupid trend? Is there anything else that you have that you like just completely ignore? Anything? Kirk
Cousins 1 o'clock games. Have you heard that one before? You know, hey, ever heard Andy Reid off a bye or Bill Belichick's the greatest after a loss? Have you ever heard these things? Fade them all now.
Love it. That's exactly what you got to do. There is, I mean, but that is the unfortunate thing about Twitter. Like, there is a lot of useful stuff, but there is a ton of BS out there too as well.
And these guys are getting paid to sway. I always say sway me, pay me is one of my things. But like, you know, I'm watching Chris Felica, the Bear, today, and he's like pumping out these negative Miami stats for college football tonight. And I'm like, negative Miami stats. Like, is he back in Virginia? Is this making me think Virginia? Because Miami's a 4-point favorite tonight at home on national television. So I just saw that being pumped out, and I was like, I wonder if he wants me to not go with Miami.
All right, we finish up with this, and the only answer that you're not allowed to give is betting within your means, bankroll management, because we all preach that, we all give that. You're with sports betting becoming legal in so many states now. Congratulations to Connecticut. We'll see you guys at the DraftKings Sportsbook at Foxwoods.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Your best advice for new sports bettors?
No parlays, no teasers. Just go straight in, man.
We tease.
Just go straight
into it. We tease a lot.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. There's like last week that one of the best teasers we had out there was Carolina, Arizona, right? Just easy, boom, done. Buffalo on Sunday was with I don't know how many different teasers. So it's fine if you want to do a teaser a week. All I'm trying to say is all these buildings were built off of parlays and teasers. You know, if you pick 5 games, win 3 of them, dude, you're happy at the end of the week. Yeah. And the other thing too is try to avoid big favorites on the road in college sports. These teams just play different at home, you know? Like I look at a Texas football team, right? They go on the road first game, they stink. So any double-digit favorites have not done well in college. Alabama last week, double-digit favorite on the road. A lot of these teams, they're young, they're kids still, you know, and they play way better at home than they do on the road. So that I'd say no parlays, no teasers, and try not to do double-digit favorites on the road.
So I will, before we move on to week 4 in the NFL, say one thing about teasers. And this is coming from me while I'm hot, because I liked, like, my best bet was that Carolina Arizona teaser, but I was like, I kind of like Buffalo. Ooh, I kind of like Baltimore. I kind of like Cleveland. So I did, for one unit, slap together the 5-leg 6-point teaser. I said,
whoa,
just in case I'm right, and this is a big teaser week where all these legs are the right leg, I want to benefit from that. Now, I owe Justin Tucker a beer because he got that through. Ravens 1.1.5, win the game by 2. I owe Justin Tucker a beer. It shouldn't have gotten there necessarily. But the point is, so I agree with you on the parlays. But if you had parlayed those 5 teams on the money line on DraftKings Sportsbook, it was plus 212. A 6-point teaser with 5 legs, plus 400. It was a value bet where I said, if we get double the odds on essentially the same money line parlay here, I have to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I would just say, and just sometimes I'll just throw in if a team's like minus, plus 1 or plus 2. Sometimes it's better to just take the money line because it's
sure,
they're more probable to win than cover. So.
Right.
All right. So the week 4 board, we have a whole thing that we can go into here. Joe, we'll start with you. What kind of stands out to you this week? Any lines that you think are just completely baseless? Is there anything that really kind of caught your eye when you're looking at the board here over on DraftKings Sportsbook?
So I'm inundated with the Belichick Brady thing. How can we get away from it?
Sure.
At this point, and I'm trying to find different ways, guys. I really am. Like, what else is out there this week? So we did an appearance today on our station, 98.5 The Sports in Boston, cheap plug. But we, there are some things that did stand out to me. I'll just give the one I kind of teased to you guys. That Cardinals-Rams game. I love the Rams in this spot. And the number one reason why, and I'll pull up the trend for you in a second here, but the number one reason why I like this bet this week is the fact that when you look at, the scores for the scores for the Rams, they've been blowing it out of the water. Their totals have been great. Like, they've been completely crushing it. But more than anything, when it comes to this team, Los Angeles has never lost to Arizona during Sean McVay's time as the head coach. He's 8-0. They've won the games by 20 points. Only one of them was decided by fewer than 10 points. So he's 8-0 straight up. He's 7-1 against the spread. The Cardinals, the last 4 meetings against the Rams, they're 0-3-1. These are all with Kyler Murray. Now, going back to the 8 meetings, they're 0-7-1 their last 8 meetings, the Cardinals against the Rams. So the more I look at it, the Cardinals have scored a ton of points this year. 135? Rams have scored 95. Lean over right away, but Sean McVay owns Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray. I wouldn't go against that despite what we saw last week and maybe a hangover. Dude, an 8-0 record? Why would you fade that at this point?
I was going to say, once you went to 8-0, I was going to say, what is it the last 2 years? Because Kingsbury's gotten 4 cracks at McVay, but it holds up. They're covering those ones. So
0-3-1.
A lot of sharp money, obviously, coming in Arizona here. It was at 6, I think, when we did the podcast on Monday. And now we're looking at 4.5, right?
4.
4. Yeah. I'm not betting the Cardinals.
I hate this game. Like, there's nothing I like about this game. Like, the total since last week has gone up 5 points. This was at 50. The over under in this game's gone up to 55. Like, I hate the spread. I hate the total, but I want to like this game because, like, this is going to be like a fun game to watch. I can't decide on which side that I like here because both these teams are scoring a ton of points, but both of the teams have also been electric defensively too as well. Like, that's where I really keep getting hung up on. Like, obviously we have the matchup with Jalen Ramsey going against DeAndre Hopkins, who, by the way, is also a little banged up. He's got a missed practice on Wednesday with a rib injury. There's a lot of things I like about this game. There's a lot of things I absolutely despise about this game too as well. I think I'm just leaving this one on the board, which is really unfortunate because, like I mentioned, I do like this game a lot, like just as is. But from a betting perspective, like I don't have a feel for this game at all.
Yeah.
Let's stick in that division, probably the best division in football, the NFC West. Another 4:00 late afternoon game, Seattle at San Francisco.
Yeah.
Total was 52. We're now seeing 51.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook. I haven't bet this. I lean over in this game. I had Seattle, Minnesota over last week. First half looked great. 9 points in the second half, none of them from Seattle, get stuck on 17 points in that game. But they can put up points. We know that. And we just saw Aaron Rodgers carve up San Francisco on the road in that Sunday night game. San Francisco is all kinds of dinged up on defense once again. And Seattle just straight up doesn't have the defense. So I don't know if I trust San Francisco's offense, but it got going eventually against a bad Green Bay defense. This is a bad Seattle defense. I think and totals aren't my thing. I'm more of a sides guy, but I think I like the over 51.5 in this one.
The last 6 meetings between Seattle and San Fran have gone over the total. There you go. And then just one thing to throw at this one. This is Russell Wilson's stat. Seattle's 1-7 against the spread. Seattle's last 8 road games. They struggle on the road. They put up points, but they struggle. So I think the over is the safe play. But dude, Jimmy Garoppolo wins, right? I mean, let's just flat out say it. He might not be the best quarterback. He gets you to the Super Bowl. I know he missed one pass in a Super Bowl game, right? I know it was the biggest moment of his life. The guy flat out wins when he's healthy. It's kind of hard to fade him in the spot.
If you made me play the game, if you made me play a side, I would side Niners. But this is one where I'm looking to maybe get involved in the over.
Yeah. How much do you guys think trends really matter? Because I'm going to tell you, this year in particular, I've just been playing it. And last week, I didn't lose a game.
I agree.
Did not lose one game. I took the Rams outright, took the Chargers outright. It was just based off the history of just the trends. And I feel like this year, why not bet the over? You kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's like 100% 6 trend. Why not do it? You know?
Well, so here's a trend. We'll stay in the 4 o'clock window. God, I don't have the number in front of me. I'm going to make this up, but it's going to be either right or extremely close.
That's good.
The Steelers at the Packers. The Steelers stink. Ben Roethlisberger stinks. Tomlin as a touchdown underdog. Now, this is 6.5 as we record on DK Sportsbook, but minus 105 on Pittsburgh, plus 6.5. It has touched 7. Tomlin is a touchdown or more underdog, 9-3-1 against the spread. If you want to go for the Steelers here. Now, I think the Packers are going to win this game. I think at 6.5, they're a safe teaser piece just to have them win the game. Joe seems to like the trend. We'll see if Joe thinks they can win outright. What do you got?
I don't love Pittsburgh in general, but yeah, the Steelers as an underdog on the road, dude, since 2019, you mentioned it. I got 10-3. That's just as an underdog outright. Okay. So yeah, you got it against the spread. I don't know. I don't know if I want to back the Steelers here, but that trend history shows that's where you go.
We all of a sudden, like, gross performance against the Raiders, even grosser performance against the Bengals. We all of a sudden forget that this team stomped the Bills on the road in week 1. Like, that's an impressive performance. So
as an underdog.
Right. As a 6.5 point underdog, this exact number.
Yep.
They just have no offensive line. That's where the biggest misconception comes from me. That should be the biggest concern. And then Deontay Johnson is banged up too as well. No guarantee that he plays. So you have Ben Roethlisberger, who can't escape any pressure to save his life, and then the perceived wide receiver 1 coming in banged up if he even plays. That's what I can't get over. So for me, like, and you mentioned it, Julian, the Packers are by far my favorite teaser piece to just basically have to win this game. Like, that's where I'm starting all my teasers this week is with the Packers. Yep. Wow. Absolutely.
So you're gonna tease them down.
Oh yeah.
To win the game. Minus 0.5 point.
Yeah.
Money line.
So you're giving yourself 6 points essentially to cover.
Yep.
Whether if they just win the game. Yeah. I mean, I just think the trend isn't Steelers just been bad since last year. You know, Bengals game, right? Bengals on national television Thursday, but since that game, dude, they've completely fallen off, and Roethlisberger's fallen off.
Yep.
Despite the opening game of the year.
All right. Well, we're pretty much working on the 4 p.m. window here, so we'll just finish out. There's one more game. And I like Baltimore with the point at Denver. Oof. So this is just a value play. Like, Baltimore could be 3-0, could be 0-3. But in general, we know they're a pretty good team, and they're starting to get a couple of bodies back, some receivers for Lamar Jackson. they're coming off some tight wins. They're coming off some highs, but the look ahead here, Baltimore was a 3-point favorite. Now we're putting value in a 3-0 Denver team, and Teddy Bridgewater covers. He is Teddy covers, and I've made a lot of money backing the Broncos early in this season. But why have I backed the Broncos? Because I've been fading their opponents. They have it's been as close to as easy as it gets. Maybe not quite there, but week 1, Giants win. Week 2, Jags cover and win. These are all covers and win. Week 3, host the Jets, shut them out, cover and win. These aren't good teams. These are bad teams, bottom of the barrel teams. Now, if this game was in Baltimore, I'd be all over the Ravens. It's in Denver, tougher place to play, but this will probably be a small play on the Ravens as a dog for me.
Under the total. 45,
okay.
Right? Seems too low a little bit. 8 of Baltimore's last 11 road games, this is all with Lamar Jackson, have gone under the total for them. It's a tricky line, guys. One, everyone probably going to love. I just feel like a public thing will be the Ravens here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you mentioned Teddy covers and everything to that degree. But just to throw this one out there, and Steve, I don't know how you generally feel about this, but the favorite in this series, in the last 8 games, 7-1 when these two teams play. Obviously, Broncos would be the favorite in that one, and the home team is 6-2 against the spread. So that's why I'm going to go with the under here, even though I don't love the 45.
Yeah, the
Broncos,
Ravens, I just quickly looked at the splits as of Thursday morning from DraftKings Sportsbook. The Ravens have about 70% of the money.
Whew.
Broncos corners are legit.
Yeah.
They are legit. And so if the Ravens are going to struggle to run the ball as it is, and then you're going to have to force Jackson to throw, I don't know who he's going to get it to, especially when Marquise Brown can't catch anything.
Well, now he's due.
Last week was tough. I played him in fantasy. I don't want to go fantasy on you here. Agree.
No, go ahead.
Moved him into the lineup,
But yeah.
Thought he was, he was back.
Yep. He had 200 yards and 3 touchdowns if he caught everything like he was supposed to. And they weren't even like in tight coverage and like just flat out missing. Yeah. It was brutal. It was absolutely maddening. And honestly, it wouldn't have made that Ravens game such a sweat. I mean, it was fun at the end. Like now you'd be like, oh yeah, that was no problem. But that game wouldn't even have been close if Brown caught even half of those passes. Yeah. It would have been a blowout. No problem.
What I kind of like about you guys here is, Steve, you're kind of like what's going on the field. This is what I see on the field. And Julian's like, well, the trends and and I'm just sitting here like, well, yeah, but no. But at least at some point we do have to look at teams, right? And just say
you got to use some eye test. I
you know what I mean? Like you just gotta. And can I just give you one? And I don't know if you're gonna talk about the Thursday night game.
Do what you want.
We can let's go to Thursday night now.
All right, let's just be real. Can you bet on the Jaguars in this situation?
No,
you can't bet on the Jaguars. Period.
No.
So like, forget the number, right? It's kind of like, what's the number? 7.5, 7, whatever.
It went from 7 to 7.5 on.
Okay. DA. So I don't love the Bengals as a favorite. When have they really and I know Burrow's been good against the spread, so whatever.
So here's Joe. Let me tell you, Julian will give you the trends numbers. We know Joe Burrow is 8-3-1 against the spread as a starter in his career.
That's great.
Do you know he has been favored once? Do you know when it was?
They lost.
They won.
They won that game.
They didn't cover though, did they?
They covered.
Ooh.
Here's the only other time Joe Burrow was a favorite. It was week 4 last year. It's week 4 now. It was at home. This is at home. It was against the Jaguars. This is against the Jaguars.
Oh, yeah.
Bengals were 1.5 point home favorites.
Yeah.
They beat the Jaguars 33-25 in week 4, and Joe Burrow is 1-0 straight up, 1-0 ATS as a favorite.
The eyeball test tells me, okay, on a short week, you're gonna back the rookie quarterback.
Rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, first short week on the road.
Out. I'm giving you the out. Not I don't care what the line is. It's Bengals or nothing.
Yeah. I'm with you.
So yeah. I would like to get it at 7 or less if I'm in on Cincy. I put something on Twitter this morning. I just tweeted out a random DK Sportsbook parlay and said, this looks like a good bet. It might go into my article, my Thursday night best bets article that I'm going to have out later on Thursday.
Plug.
It includes baseball. I don't bet baseball. I haven't given out a baseball play in a long time.
Good.
The Red Sox need to win this game in Baltimore against a very, very bad pitcher. They have Nick Pivetta on the mound.
Yeah.
Won all 4 of his starts against the Orioles this year. Eovaldi got it done on Wednesday night against the O's, 6-0 shutout. Chris Sale didn't get it done. That was the wake-up call for this team.
I blame Cora for that, by the way.
Yeah,
100% agree.
Left him out there.
But can you go to the? It's like, can you go to the bullpen? Well, yeah, I think you had to. You know what I mean?
So I think that the Sale loss was. People will say that anything can happen. I think that was the wake-up call that they need to get these other 2 games.
Yep.
Red Sox Bengals money line parlay. Don't parlay, Joe. Don't parlay. -112 gets you to standard juice. That's my Thursday night play. It's equally as much of the Jaguars and Orioles won't win as it is the Red Sox need to win. The Bengals should win this one at home. A rare cross sport money line parlay for me, 2-teamer. I'm getting that in on Thursday night.
But that's the sweat, the multi-sport sweats, and they end on the same day, which is great.
By the way, if you ever
and it ends on the same day.
If you ever listen to 98.5 The Sports, we have a big problem with crossing sports. So I'm out on that one. I don't want to cross sports tonight, man.
Well, here's my question. Other than like an entertainment factor, maybe you're like not a baseball fan and you're a casual bettor and you only want to bet games you watch or whatever. What are people's issues with cross sport parlays? Because I think a lot of the time people will say, I have this is one team I want to put in a parlay, but I can't find another. And then they force something they don't like and they don't win it. Like, what if you really like this from football? You really like this from baseball or basketball or hockey or whatever. I don't care. You have 2 strong pieces and you're like not putting them together because you're only thinking one sport. Just take your 2 strongest pieces, put them together, win.
Yeah.
You're smart, man. You're way smarter than me. And you can always.
I was so sorry. That was supposed to be. I made that more of a statement. That was supposed to be a question. Why don't
there's those people who bet
like cross-sport parlays?
There are people who bet parlays and just have that one spot open. So, maybe. Oh yeah. So maybe tonight they do it. All right. You know what? I'm in with you.
All right. Let's go.
Roll with you tonight. We're gonna call it the Julian Edlow sweat of the night cross sport.
The Edlow cross sport sweat. There's nothing like
there we go. I like that.
So all right. So can we add a 3rd leg and make it a triathlon?
No, we don't do 3 legs. This is where Steve gets greedy. This is where Steve comes in and takes a perfectly good winner, just trashes it.
I don't know, Steve. Let me know on the side, bro.
I'll let you know.
What's it going to be? You have to at least say what it would be.
I'm trying to see if you can do it first, and then I'll let you know. I'm doing
it's a prop. It's a prop, isn't it?
Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can't. Okay.
Probably a good thing that we can't.
Yep. But okay. I will say though, real quickly, a prop for tonight that I'm absolutely going to hammer is Jamar Chase anytime touchdown. Tell me that he's not scoring. Even money. Tell me he's not scoring.
I was so wrong about him. I loved him in college. I didn't think he was going to transition. He couldn't see the football at one point. Like
that was such garbage.
I know.
The best receiver in college football
can't see the top
5. Forgets how to catch.
Yeah,
like Marquise Brown.
I know.
Not buying that story. I'm with Steve, so I'm pretty much giving out my full article here. The Red Sox Bengals parlay. Jamar Chase even money anytime touchdown score. And here's the other one we're gonna do. Jamar Chase long reception over 25.5 yards.
Oh, that's it.
Pull up 25.5 yards for his long reception.
Wow.
Now I got to get into his game log, and
he's absolutely surpassed that each time.
Yeah. So the easy answer is he's 3 for 3 going over that, but I'll give you the exact.
It's minus 115 for the over on both
numbers
sides.
Here.
Yeah.
So he's basically, week 1 against Minnesota, 5 grabs for 101. He averaged over 20 yards a grab. Week 2 against Chicago, 2 for 54, averaged 27 yards a grab. Pittsburgh game, he averaged 16.5 yards a grab. His long reception for each game, 50, 42, 34. He's cleared it by about 10 yards to 23 yards in each of these games. Chase long reception over. Might cash him on the same play if he just catches a bomb and goes to the end zone.
That would be a beauty right there. Absolutely would love to
Any
see
other
that.
value you see, like a Tyler Boyd or
Boyd receptions.
A Joe Mixon prop, maybe something like that.
Mixon's been running well.
Yeah, he worries me though. He can disappear like nobody else. That's the only thing I worry about.
Proclaimed himself best running back in the league last week.
Yeah, he's probably not.
I mean, this is what I say though. Like, if you obviously like the Bengals, like you very stated you did, Joe, then you would have to like his rushing yard prop or his rush attempts. You know what I mean?
Rush attempts is high, by the way. Do you know what it is?
I'm on it right now. I'm 20 and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a lot of carries.
That's a lot of carries. All right. I'd take it over 89 and a half rushing yards though. I'm fine with that. Minus 115. I'll be good with that. 20 and a half though. 20 and a half for
like Derrick Henry numbers.
Right. 20 and a half. And they have him as just over a touchdown favorite. Like I would expect that if it was a higher spread than that, you know what I mean? Like that. Not a fan of that.
Well,
but I do like the 89 and a half.
I'm on the 3 I gave. It's a Bengals Sox night. It's a Chase night.
I could get down with that.
You gotta get yourself a pizza and
Oh, there will be pizza. There will be beer.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And there will be winners.
Joe.
Beer and winners.
Joe, you know what? 95% of our audience is not going to know. You know what I'm getting for the game tonight?
Yeah.
Jamie's roast beef.
Oh, baby.
Let's go.
I thought you were going to say Cal. I thought you were going to say Kowloon.
No,
Kowloon. I'll be there tomorrow night. I mean,
I was apartment life. I was North Shore, so I would get a lot of Kowloon takeout during the pandemic. Now as a homeowner, I'm a South Shore guy. This is for our Massachusetts listeners now. So yeah, I'm no longer really in that market. But Joe Murray basically runs the place. So I have to go to the Kowloon with Joe Murray sometime.
Correct.
Let me know if you're on your way and we'll take care of you.
All right, let's get back to Sunday afternoon.
1 p.m. window time. 1 p.m.
We haven't even talked about the 1 p.m. windows. Titans, that's my other favorite teaser piece. Put that with the Packers. That's my favorite bet of the week. So we'll just get right into that. But get the Titans down to 1. You get the Packers down to half a point. I mean, there's your teaser right there. That's your 2-leg teaser for the week.
So you like the Titans this week?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Against the Jets, of course.
So here's
my thing. Why is the line so low?
Right. So Joe,
right, exactly.
Joe can maybe look up some trends, some history for this. If you're, I see your eyes moving around like that's what you're doing. For me, everybody's getting too cute here, and here's why they're getting too cute. Money's coming in on the Jets, and they're essentially saying that Tennessee's banged up. AJ Brown's probably out. Julio Jones is questionable. And that the Jets, who have looked awful moving the ball, have played good defenses, Carolina, New England, Denver, and that against Tennessee, they'll be able to move the ball and keep this game close. They will be able to move the ball better, but they're not going to keep up with Tennessee. Even if they don't have the receivers, Derrick Henry is going to run down their throat.
Yep.
I'm not this one could get a little icky like Arizona and Jacksonville did last week, where there's a moment where you're like, oh my God, the Jets might actually win this game. The Jets aren't going to win this game though. They're still the Jets. Zach Wilson's still bad. He's still, even against a less, lock you down type of defense and secondary, he's still going to make some mistakes and give Tennessee the ball a couple of times. And when he does that, Tennessee will capitalize with Henry and then not give it back. So I think people are getting a little cute on the Jets here, and I agree. This is obviously a big teaser leg for me as well. Tennessee's going to win the game, I think.
Probably another game we have to look at it and say eyeballs, right? Jets can't score right now. They just can't. And basically, I give you 16 games, guys. The unders, all right, last 15 games, the unders 11-4. So if I stretched it out a whole season, it's 11-5, whatever. So to help my argument, 11-4 last 15 games. The under is hit. That is 3 with Zach Wilson. But I will tell you this though, the Titans struggle against the Jets. Last 10 games, 2-8 against the spread. But this is a different Jets team, right? So
yeah.
The 7.5
it's just a different version of the same bad, though.
That's right.
The Jets are always bad. It's just like, all right, here's our new bad guy.
Can I give you one more though? The Titans as a road favorite, not good. 1-4 against the spread as a road favorite, dating back to last season. So the line 7.5, I think they'll cover. I think they win. It's just, I don't know. Can they like miraculously score a couple of touchdowns? Like, does Derrick Henry just run the ball all day long? Plus, guys, the total went from 46 to 44. I already gave you under on 45 and didn't love it.
Yeah.
44? I don't know if I can touch that.
That's a tough number. That's a tough number.
Nothing for me on the total.
You know what I like that the Titans are finally starting to do is that they're passing to Derrick Henry now too as well.
Yeah.
Keeping him involved in that aspect of the game, which he wasn't really involved in. So the more he's on the field, which is what they're doing now, the Jets are not going to be able to stop Henry. Nobody can stop Henry. The Jets are certainly not going to be that team. And if they're going to start throwing to him too as well, there's no way I would put any money on the Jets at all. Not at this number.
Agree.
I mean, I'm not going to, the Jags, the Jets, like, I'm not going to bet on these teams all year. It's just knowing the weeks to lay off of them, really. And I don't think this is a week you need to lay off in a teaser for Tennessee. I think it's getting a little bit too cute for me.
I did want to just throw this out here. Teams that are 0-3, though, generally cover week 4. I think that's where they're trying to respect the line here. I think that's the respect of the line. The Titans struggles on the roads over the year. So I think that's why the line is what it is.
Yep, that's fair.
That is now my new favorite trend to ignore.
Yeah. All right. Another one that's turning into a big teaser piece for me. And by the way, so I hit my teasers last week. I put them together, basically my favorite 5 legs this week, and DK Sportsbook tweeted it out and said which leg loses. Everybody said Tennessee's losing to the Jets outright. Those are all the responses I was getting on Twitter. One that people don't seem to think is going to let us down is Kansas City -7 at Philly. The Chiefs are now 1-11 against the spread in their last 12 regular season games.
Brutal.
Everybody backs them because before that, they made everybody money every week. Before that trend started, they were 15-2 against the spread in their last 17. So a serious roller coaster ride for Chiefs bettors. The Chiefs are going to win and cover this week in Philadelphia. It is a big bounce back week. 2 losses in a row for Kansas City. A homecoming for Andy Reid to Philly against a defense that just gave up 41 to Dallas and is now on a short week. Kansas City's defense is a problem. It is for sure in the AFC. It makes me like the Bills more than them in the AFC. But as it pertains to this week, if we have 2 bad defenses and Philly's might be worse, whose offense do we trust more? Kansas City by a mile. Kansas City's going to win and cover this game.
What you got, Steve?
How bad that Jalen Hurts was scampering last week is a big concern for me. Now, the Chiefs don't have a great pass rush by any means, but neither does Dallas. So if Dallas was able to get Jalen Hurts that uncomfortable last week, I shudder to think what the Chiefs could do this week too as well. And I probably put them on the same tier in terms of pass rush. So that worries me a lot. That really worries me because I want to like the Eagles to cover in this game. But after what I saw the other day, was that Monday's game? I think. Yeah, Monday's game completely changed my mind. Because if you ask me on Sunday or Saturday who I like to cover, I'd probably go with the Eagles. But after Monday, I can't do it. They look bad.
So 2 things that stand out to me. Did you guys watch Manning Cast at all?
I love the Manning Cast.
Love it.
I do too. And a couple of things that just stood out to me. I love the X's and O's stuff. Like, it doesn't work on podcasts or like, you know what I mean? The people don't really love that stuff, but That's why I think that's why we all like it, right? Because it's inside. But the Eagles don't play man to man. They play this zone that's like, they just can find the spots. Pat Mahomes is going to find those spots.
Yeah.
I'll just give you two things. Whenever he's had a 2-game losing streak, right? He's responded by wins of 28 points or more. He did it against the Raiders in 2018, a 24-point win, and against the Broncos back in 2019. The other thing
we're looking at Chiefs alternate lines here. Big plus money.
There you go. No, but for real though, you're right. This is where someone who has a nice bankroll or likes to dabble, you might want to chip in at a double-digit win, a 50, because again, 28 points, 24 against the Broncos in 2019. That's a 20-point difference. Those are what? Plus 300s, 400s in there?
Right. No, Steve thought it was a joke. I was being serious.
Yeah, no, for real.
We're not making like 5-unit plays here on the Chiefs minus 21, but
I'd put
half a unit on 14, half a unit on 17.
Exactly. And I just call it $25 because, dude, if you can hit $25 on like a plus 500 or good for you.
Yeah.
One other thing too is I don't think Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been great, guys. And remember how Sony Michel was a first-round pick and he got crapped on all over by the Patriots? He at least won with the Patriots a Super Bowl, right? Helaire hasn't. But the defense has given up 134 rushing yards per game. This might be the Clyde Edwards-Helaire game. I think 7.5. I buy the hook if you're really nervous about it. But for me, this is a short week spot against a team that should be good. The only thing I'm concerned about, I have this thing about Super Bowl losers, guys. I just go back to Seattle. Look what's happened to them. The 49ers maybe have turned it around a little bit, but just these teams that lose the Super Bowl, man, they're hard to bet the following year. But again, this is a different type of quarterback with Patrick Mahomes.
That 7.5 alternate line gets you even money too.
Okay.
No juice.
All right, let's try and rifle through the rest of the 1 p.m. window. Dallas, Carolina, I think that Dallas is due for some regression at some point, but I also think Carolina's in a pretty bad spot, losing Horn, losing McCaffrey. I initially wrote up Dallas -4 in my article. I'm liking that play less and less. I might hedge out of it. I don't know. We can talk about that one a little. Gross game of the week. Now everybody loves the Lions all of a sudden. Bears -3 at home. This is going to be just like Cincinnati after a gross one. I kind of like the Bears in that one. Washington football team and the Falcons are around to pick them. I lean to the team that plays defense. I like Washington in there. Other games in that window. Winless Colts at Dolphins. Interesting game between the Browns at Vikings. Giants at Saints. And then, of course, Steve's game of the week, the Texans and Bills. Whatever else jumps out to you in the 1 p.m. window, we can just kind of throw at the wall right now.
The only thing I'll throw out there, the Bears, that line, I think everyone loves the Lions this week, right? Because they played hard and they've hung in there, and that's a smoke screen for me,
Yeah.
But I'll give you this: when the Bears are a home favorite, they're not good. 2-5 against. I think they did win earlier this year, though.
So they pushed there was a lot of Cincy +3 that pushed, but it closed like 1.5 or 2. So the Bears won and covered that home game against Burrow.
So just that's the only thing I'll throw out there. That Miami game, guys. Well, I don't know. I got nothing for you on that one.
All I know is that I have the Titans to win the division and make the playoffs, and I have the Colts to miss the playoffs. So I'm just going to keep rooting for things to go my way. The Colts road dogs this week. Next week, they're 6.5 road dogs on Monday Night Football in Baltimore. Meanwhile, the Titans have the Jets this week, the Jags next week. We could be talking about a 4-1 Tennessee team and a 1-4 or 0-5 Indy team. That gives us the perfect spot. If you're in the situation and you did all this with the Wentz news, perfect spot to just take a tiny dabble, put it on the Colts to win the division after week 5, and you're covered.
I would just say home favorites. I would say less than a touchdown have not been good this year. I think 4 and 16. So That kind of puts Miami in that spot there.
Did you say 4-16?
Yep. When they're
What?
home favorite. Yep.
All right. That puts the Bears in that spot. That puts the Cowboys in that spot. That puts the
home favorites of less than a touchdown this year have gone 4-16 against the spread.
All right. Steve, anything else in the 1 p.m. window?
0-2 in those spots too, just to throw that in there too.
Yep. We're going to put Joe on the hot seat. Here we go. You ready, Joe?
I'm ready.
What number do you bet Houston at?
I'm actually taking them at 16.5 right now. If I can get them at 17, I will. This is a look ahead spot, everybody. It's a look ahead.
Yeah, Chiefs on deck for the Bills.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. That's exactly what I have. Bills are a good team to fade here. They go to Arrowhead next week. Not to mention, the what's it called? Texans are off a short week. And just to throw this out here, little statistics since 03, I don't know why 2003 came up, but teams that are 14-point underdogs or higher, they posted a 70, 61, and 4 record against the spread. So I like my 52% chance that the Texans cover in this one.
Wow.
I'm out on this game. I just don't care. There's so many other spots I'm going to be invested in.
Agreed.
Okay, so we've given our best bet. Joe, what's your best bet for this week? Do you have a best bet for this week?
Ooh, so we haven't talked about it yet. It's the Tampa Bay New England game. I don't know if you guys are saving it. I don't want to sabotage anything.
We're going. Well, let's go to it. Let's do Tampa Bay New England now and kind of tie it in with best bets.
Yeah.
My best bet of the week is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this is tricky. Do you want to take the Tampa? So I have it over 27.5, their team total.
Yep.
Okay.
That's my play. I'm staying off the game. We can talk about the game, but I like the Bucs to go over 27.5 because they've done it all year. They've done it. So forget about spreads and all that stuff. They should put. Now the other thing you can bet is will the Bucs score over 3.5 touchdowns? You can get that at plus money. So there's 2 ways to go with that one. I'm going to bet on both. So over 27.5 and over 3.5 touchdowns. So I'm going to get it at the minus 110. And then I think it's plus 110. The 3.5 line on DraftKings. So that's my best bet of the week. I just think that this is a home game for Tom Brady. And I brought this up as well. Jimmy Garoppolo scored 33 points against Bill Belichick's defense a year ago. I think Brady has that circled. I think he wants to go over 33.
No, he's putting up points.
He wants to go over 33. So and I have thoughts on the sides and all that, but my pick of the week is taking Tampa Bay to have more than 27.5 points this week.
There we go.
All right. I know that your counterpart, Dan Lifshatz, thinks that the Patriots have a good shot in this.
No,
game.
Not a good shot. He has the Patriots outright.
Oh, Dan.
Okay.
Dan.
So I understand getting your hands dirty. And I understand, I think one of his examples was he gave the Colts playing Manning for the first time, who had Andrew Luck, Reggie Wayne, T.Y. Hilton, who people think stinks now, but was very good in 2013. They had some pieces. They also put up 39 points in that game in Denver for the Colts to win that game. The Patriots can't put up 39 points in a month right now. They're not scoring. So I respect everybody, and I respect the people taking like the 7s and, if it gets to 7.5. I've rambled about this game all week, and people know how I feel. I'm all over Tampa. Joe, I'm with you on the over team total for Tampa. I have them at minus 5.5. I have Tampa as my favorite teaser leg. Tom Brady's not losing this game.
The one.
What else? Gronk anytime touchdown score. Now, he wasn't at practice today on Thursday.
Yeah, there you go.
We need to make sure he's healthy. Obviously, that voids if he doesn't play. If Gronk plays, he's scoring. Antonio Brown's going to score. I'll take him as a touchdown score. Props just came out, yardage props on DK Sportsbook. Gronk, 43.5. Antonio Brown, 46.5. Those are low. He's going to feed those guys.
That Brown sounds low.
AB is way too low.
Jonathan Jones on Antonio Brown, not good.
See ya.
Or if he's in the slot, like Jalen Mills, any of it.
As I was going to say, even Godwin might be someone to look at.
Yeah. So I'm like just everything Tampa in this game. I understand it's going to be one of the more public and square sides of the season. It's the books are going to need the Patriots. I don't care. And here's my short explanation of it, because I've rambled on this game all week. So I'll try not to do it on this podcast, especially with how much we've talked already. I don't care. I'm more fearful of being against Tom Brady's needs than I am of being on this against the sportsbook's needs. Tom Brady doesn't care, and there could be, I know you guys have your wrangles, ref angles for those that don't follow the Bankroll Boys. I don't care. Like, Tom Brady's going to win this game and put up points in this game. The Patriots offense isn't going to be able to keep up. The front seven of Tampa is going to tee off on Mac Jones. The Patriots O-line has looked awful. The only way to attack Tampa, and we've seen it from offenses, Matthew Stafford with Deshaun Jackson, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. We've seen it from Dak Prescott with CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup. They can go deep on this secondary and put up points. The Patriots don't have the quarterback or the pass catchers to do that. The only way you can hurt Tampa, and you know Tampa's going to put up points, so you have to do that to keep up with Tampa. I've tried as hard as I can to say Bill Belichick's going to have the defensive game plan of his life and keep the Patriots in this game. I cannot get there. Tampa's going to roll. Tampa's going to dominate this game. I have 5.5. You want to say don't bet it at 7. I think no matter what number you have on the game, Tampa's going to cover, win by double digits. I've got this game like 42-16 type of game. So square, so public. The sportsbooks need everything that I'm saying to not happen. Tom Brady's going to make it happen.
There you go. And don't forget, DraftKings Sportsbook special in the
Brady
NFL
specials.
section. The week, no, the weekly special. Obviously, you have to wait for Gronk. Over 68.5 receiving yards. You need 69 and a touchdown. Plus 450. Get out of here. Give me that.
It was 500 when we recorded. Was it out when we recorded Monday? It was plus 500, and it took some money.
Yeah, because we moved the lines.
I look for someone odd to have a big game. Cameron Brate.
Well, if Gronk is out, then great props become really valuable.
And then, like, is there another, like Scotty Miller is out now? Like, is there another guy that could like have a game that might be like of crazy value? I'm just trying to think, like maybe
Teron Johnson, is that his name?
Yeah, whoever like maybe their third running back is or whatever. Because Bernard's out. Oh, I think he's out at least. And the Patriots run defense stinks, guys. I'm sorry, it stinks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every week I'm doing post game like the Patriots have had opportunities this year to stop teams and get the ball back, and they haven't. Miami and last week. And I don't know if you guys read any of this, but it's one of the things that I don't love when we kind of talk about Bill Belichick without Tom Brady. Like, it is a real thing, guys. It's real. Tom Brady was the Patriots I shouldn't say was the Patriots. Just, I guess, masked a lot of issues the team had. But do you know what some of these numbers are? Like, when Tom Brady played in New England, like when they were here, the numbers were crazy. Like, they covered at a 56% rate. And like the more I look at it and I think about this year, like now that they're no longer here, I got it right here. Home dog. So when the team played at home for Tom Brady in the regular season, they covered at 60% against the spread. Now that he's with the Bucs, Tom Brady, he's 57% against the spread. The over hits at 52% of the time. Okay. Bill Belichick now through 19 games is 8-11 against the spread without Brady. 42%. The over hits at 28%. So like the Patriots, you can't even bet the Patriots right now because they're 2-9 against the spread in their last 11 or whatever it is. And the Bucs, after a loss, are 5-0 with Brady. Also following us against the spread loss, 5-0.
I was just going to say Brady's 5-0 ATS off a loss with the Bucs.
When the Patriots are an underdog, the last 5 games have gone under the total. So for me, like, I can't choose an over or under because the Patriots don't contribute to any of it.
Yeah.
So this is a special case game for me though. So like I know the numbers point to under, but I can't do it because Brady wants to put up 35, 42, 45, so I can't get there.
And that's why I go team total. I just want to say this. For real bet, like smart better, sharp guys, the Patriots are sharp. And again, this goes back to the eyeball versus the trend, right? We see it. The Patriots are struggling. They can't stop the defense. I don't know how they're going to stop their offense. All I'll say is this, guys, teams on back-to-back games on the road that like just lost, that haven't covered all their games, that are like without players. This is a bad spot for the Bucs to be 7-point favorites. I'm using the 3 points extra as a Tom Brady home game.
All right. So Joe gave his best bet on the Tampa team total. I essentially gave my best bet on Monday's podcast. It's the Tennessee-Tampa teaser, both teams to win. If you want to get Kansas City involved, I've now warmed up to that. So not 3 legs, but just mix and match those. I think Kansas City and Tampa winning is equally as strong to me at this point. So those are my best bets. Steve, best bet NFL really quick.
Yeah, doing that 6-point teaser, getting the Titans down to -1, getting the Packers down to 0.5 point. There's your two leg teaser.
We are just a teaser podcast at this point. We might want to think about changing our name.
Unreasonable teasers.
All right, so that's NFL for the Unreasonable Odds podcast here. Steve's going to take a quick nap, but before we get out of here, I got to do some quick. And now that we're at like an hour, I do mean quick, Joe, because it's a good board and we could do another hour podcast on college football on Saturday. Give me like 3 spots that are jumping out to you, and you can wrap it with a best bet.
I think Iowa should smoke Maryland this week. Even
a lot of respect on that spread. Friday night game right there too.
I can't.
Why the heck is Iowa only -3?
Don't know. Can't believe I'm doing this one. I can't believe I'm even doing this.
Ole Miss.
Give me Michigan upset over Wisconsin 23-20.
Okay, so I've been tweeting about this one this week. The trappiest spread of the season. Wisconsin. So here's my thing. Wisconsin is so bad. We know he's so bad. Graham Mertz. Woof. Like he handed the over away in an easy under game last week against Notre Dame. I can't believe this game. This is the ultimate trap spot. I'm with you. I think it's right. So like an example is last week.
Harbaugh 0-12 as an underdog in his career. The streak ends. The streak ends this week.
So I'm with you. So here's the thing. This is the eye test thing that we've been talking about on the podcast. Like, I know everybody's like, this line stinks. You've got to take Wisconsin. But FSU is a team that took a lot of sharp money. It took sharp money at +6 down to +4.5 against Wake Forest. What happened? Wake Forest beat them down by 3 touchdowns. Then FSU goes from a 2.5-point dog to a favorite at home against Louisville the following week. Oh, FSU will get it right. Louisville comes out and smokes them. It got closer in the second half, but Louisville smoked them. FSU's just not a good team. And maybe I'll even take 5 points with Syracuse at FSU this week. That's how bad they are.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing with Wisconsin now. Sharp money on Wisconsin. We just got to bite the bullet here and say that Wisconsin stinks, Mertz stinks, and just take Michigan. I think I'm with you.
Yeah. And I'll just give you one more. I backed Notre Dame last week. I've liked Notre Dame all year. When they're a home underdog since 2014, I just tweeted this out.
Very good.
5-0, and they cover by an average of 8.5 points per game. I have to stay consistent. I have Cincinnati with a shot at the national championship this year, college playoff. I like Cincinnati to win as a favorite. If it goes towards Notre Dame, give me the points. Desmond Ridder should be up for Heisman this year. I like Cincinnati to beat Notre Dame on the road, dude. And if they do that and win out and someone falls, Texas A&M, somebody, they may have a shot at getting in the playoff.
Oh, God. I thought that we were going to have some debates here, but we are scarily aligned.
Oh, man.
Iowa, why are they only a 3-point favorite? It's a trap. I like them. They're way better than Maryland. Michigan, huge trap. This is Michigan or pass for me. And, yeah, I've already bet Cincinnati money line at minus.
Would you bet Harbaugh, Steve?
Yeah, sure. No, why not?
Jim Harbaugh in college.
They're Michigan's +2.5 right now.
I know.
Like,
I know, and I hope it's not that we last saw Wisconsin bad. You know what I mean? I hope that's not like the mindset on. And I know there's a bunch of other games, man. I do love Matt Corral, man. I think that game just goes over. I just
79.
79. Oh God. Oof. Oof. Oof.
I'm entertained to watch that game. I've got a good amount of money on Bama to win it all.
I might bet 79 and just have fun, man. I might just let it roll, baby. Let that over roll, baby.
That's going to be a wild game. I have a rule. I don't bet against Bama. I don't do it. I'm invested in them to win it all again. If you made me bet the spread, I would take 14.5 with Ole Miss. It's too many. They're very good. They're going to keep up. Alabama will win the game, and I hope they win it all. But yeah, that's going to be within 2 touchdowns, I think. Even though this isn't the Florida game, Alabama's at home, but still. And one last spot before we go, we'll talk some local college football here. The BC Eagles, the 4-0 BC Eagles, who even without their quarterback pulled out a nice home SEC win last week. Here's another eye test one. Like, we're getting value numbers on Clemson now. -10 at NC State. -14.5 against BC. I'm on BC +16 here. It's down to 14.5. I'll probably still take them as long as it stays above 14 when I get to my college football best bets article. Clemson isn't good. Clemson's just not a good team.
They're 0-4 against the spread, man, and they're double-digit favorites against BC. If Jerkovich was there, man, I'd be with you. I have like a 55. I don't know what's the total on this one.
46.5.
Yeah, give me the over and just sit back. This one's going over. DJ Ugalele will probably have a big day. I just think the running game worked last week for the BC.
Yeah,
I don't know if they can do that against Clemson. So Clemson wins. I don't know if they cover, but give me the over for this game.
Clemson's obviously out of the college football playoff, I would say, at this point.
They're toast. That's another thing, right? Like in college, dude, how many college sports do you see we're not in it this year? See you later. You know what I mean? Like that could be the case.
Yeah, it's still September. The odds on Clemson before the season to miss the college football playoff were +425, and they're out already. Yeah. Pretty wild. And at some point, Clemson's going to have a game like they were supposed to have and score a lot of points. I just hope it's not against BC.
Yeah. I will say this though, like I know like we did a lot of NFL today. The NFL seems easier to like analyze. Does that make sense? Like,
yes, college football is hard.
Yeah, but it never was like that for me. If I saw a 48-point spread, I just did it. You know what I mean? I laid it. I just feel like there's more things to the NFL now that you can kind of figure out. You know, you can trust these quarterbacks. This is a really bad quarterback class, I think, this year in college football, and I think it makes it harder to cap the game. So, Steve, you're doing the right thing, staying out of this.
It really is.
I'm telling you, I'm crushing my Sundays. My Saturdays are putting a dent in me.
I stay away from NBA. I stay away from college football. I know what to avoid.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad plan. Although when the NBA load management season comes into play and you get those, that's what screws you on sides. That's when you get swoop in on the props. NBA player props. That is how you make your money. It will be that season soon.
Dude, it's funny. Guys hit me up. Oh, you guys don't do props, or when you do, they're low. I'm like, dude, go talk to the guys at DraftKings, man. Like,
that's why we're here.
I got my head in other stuff, man. Like, but I'll tell you though, there's money to be made, man. Right? There is money to be made, especially those plus 400s that you mentioned. Like, I just don't have the time to sit down and look at it all day because I'm analyzing what teams do on a Tuesday night on grass, which we're out of. We're out on it now. But baseball playoffs, Steve.
I'm ready, baby.
Oh, baby. But and just one more thing. This week, for all the listeners, like, now that things are becoming legal everywhere, we could potentially see, like, the biggest bet regular season game in history on Sunday, that Patriots game.
It will be.
I think it will be. And not to mention, dude, like, hockey's starting in, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? And
we don't address hockey. But,
like, college baseball, dude, you need something to do during I'm not college, MLB playoffs. We need something to do during the day for those day games. You know, that one game elimination's everything. You know what I'm saying? And just this next week, guys, is going to be one of the best betting weeks until March Madness.
Well, the Red Sox are going to win on Thursday night, as are the Bengals. We know that. So I am hoping for. I've told this to Steve. I haven't been to Fenway Park in 2.5 years now, pre-pandemic. Red Sox host Yankees in a wild card game. I'm in. I'm there. See you at Fenway Park on Tuesday night.
All right, so that is going to wrap it up for this edition, the Week 4 edition of the Unreasonable Odds podcast. Want to thank our guy Joe Murray for coming on. As always, you can get him on Twitter at Joey Murr, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Him and Dan Lifshatz, the Bankroll Boys, unbelievable betting podcast. Make sure to subscribe to that as well. I mean, this is the Kowloon Kingpin, as his profile says. Joey Murr right here joining us. Good luck with your bets this week, and we will see you all on Monday.
And you follow us on Twitter at Unreasonable Odd.
Yeah, that too.
Wes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.